What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the TB Toycast YouTube channel. And today we are unboxing from Jada Toys and the brand new Scooby Doo line. It is, of course, everyone's favorite member of Mystery Inc., maybe the scaredy cat of the bunch, the one and only Shaggy Rogers. Did you know his last name was Rogers? I had no idea. That was news to me. So I was like, oh, he's just Shaggy. I assume that's not his real name, but it's funny, this line, and I've talked about it on TB Toycast, the podcast before. Go check that out, wherever you get your podcast, that I wasn't sure if I needed these. I was like, I don't know. They're cool, but do I need Scooby Doo? I don't know. And like that, I think, thought goes through a lot of our heads with collecting. But the more I looked at them, the more I got excited. And I think a lot of it had to do with the villains. Like, the villains in this line are incredible. In fact, I got them over here, so I'll go ahead and give you a sneak peek. I did pick up the Creeper. That'll be coming up soon. Very excited about that. And I picked up the Mummy of Anka. I don't know, your mileage may vary, whatever that's called there. But and then Wave 2 is going to be Scooby and a couple other villains, which I'm like, oh man, this could really turn out to be a really fun line when we start incorporating the villains. But I love the box here. Definitely a box, but look at the clouds. How cool is that? Because that was, to me, the clouds were always synonymous with Scooby-Doo. And Scooby-Doo, they're always going in haunted houses and stuff. This may be, I mean, we're in the spooky season now, as everyone knows. This may be everyone's introduction to horror. I never thought of it that way, but, haunted houses, ghosts, monsters, mummies, obviously. Very, very much horror-based. Of course, Scooby-Doo was never scary, but, it's just kind of the way that it was. Of course, I love the packaging here. They did phenomenal on this, Warner Brothers there. Of course, we got Shaggy in the box. He's got a box of Scooby snacks. A little bit hidden behind the clouds, but that's all right. We have an actual Scooby snack. I don't know if you can see that real well, but it's right there. A couple extra hands, and then a scared head. Again, extra heads have never been a big thing for me, but that makes perfect sense. And then, of course, we got a nice cartoon image of Shaggy right there. Looks like he's walking to a cemetery, which probably goes against everything he is. And then another image. Looks like it's the same image, but he's kind of in possibly a haunted house there. Then we kind of go to the back. Of course, we got all the Mystery Inc. Scooby gang right there. Hopefully we get all of them. I do know Daphne was shown off at New York Comic Con as kind of the Scooby gang member of Wave 3. So we still got Velma and Fred to go. So at least 5 waves, hopefully. That's what I'm hoping for. But nice picture of Shaggy right there. Good articulation on the figure. The bats and the clouds. I mean, just, and of course, a graveyard up here. All really cool stuff. So, I don't know. This is not probably on everybody's bucket list or everybody's cup of tea. But to me, it's a really, really fun idea. And, I was wanting to start off with one of the villains unboxing first. But I thought the Creeper or the Mummy of Anka didn't quite make sense. I'm like, if I'm going to start this off, it kind of needs to be with Shaggy. He's the main one here. I did pick these up on Big Bad Toy Store. I'm going to go and start unboxing it here. They were all in stock, and last time I looked, they were still in stock. So you might be able to get them. They're $30 a piece, a little bit on the expensive side of things, but more tape. What are we doing? But I think that's just the way of the future nowadays. Things just seem to be expensive, and I've seen some prices kind of fluctuate. Some go up, some go down. And, I think a lot of that will probably be based on the tariffs, unfortunately. But, it's interesting because I feel like, with the tariffs, I think sometimes people are like, well, the tariffs are done or they're changing or this or that. This is a really cool background on that. Look at that. That is so cool. Doesn't look like it's anything you could pull out, but I guess you could cut the box if you wanted to keep it. Nothing I'm going to keep, but still cool to see nonetheless. Of course, it's got a nice image there of Shaggy. Got to open up all his accessories. Got his box of Scooby snacks. The actual Scooby snack. I always wonder what a Scooby snack was. Is it just like a dog treat? I mean, Scooby went nuts for it, but this is the same dog that's eating sandwiches and stuff. Of course, my dog goes crazy for dog treats, and she's all about eating, my food, which I always tell her, like, hey, I don't know why you're begging. I don't eat your food. I don't ask to eat your food, So why are you trying to eat my pizza or sandwich? What is it? What's going on here? Dogs are funny, though. But definitely like I said, there's been a few different Scooby-Doo lines over the years, so this is not a super new thing. But I do feel like this could be the best one. Now, that's a little premature, of course, because we haven't seen a whole lot from this yet. But, again, I think this line is already, so many twist ties, already hitting a home run just because of all the different characters, all the different villains. Like I said, give me the Creepers, give me the Mummies, give me, all the fun villains. That's what makes collecting fun, is getting those fun villains. I still stand by the fact that the original Power Rangers line, not the original, but the Automorphin line, a big reason I liked it so much is because there was 12 villains in the first wave. 12. All unique sculpts. Like, that's really, really cool. Shaggy here, very skinny, nice articulation, nice movement, very long neck. But again, they did this where he certainly has the feel of Shaggy from the old cartoon. Not the snazziest dresser in the world, but that's all right. Very, very cool. That's how he stands up. Looks like he does stand up pretty decently. Let's make sure no peg stand there, so nothing you can't use a stand on the guy. But as long as they stand up good, that's all I care about. We got his box of Scooby snacks, and we can put the Scooby snack in the box. And then, of course, we got the extra head, the scared face, a couple extra hands if needed. So let's look at this extra head. Let's see if these pop off good. Oh, it pops off great. Nice big old long peg there. And boom. Now, that's the Shaggy we all know right there. That's the scared Shaggy. Let's see if he can hold the box of Scooby snacks. I think Zoinks, wasn't that his catchphrase? Zoinks? Like I could see Shaggy being a little bit scared right there. Oh, that's perfect. That's fantastic. Such a cool figure. And like I said, I could actually see people picking up a couple of different ones because of what you could do. There's the inside of the head there if you want to kind of take a peek in there. There's just a lot you could do with this figure and this line in general. I know the villains all have an extra head, so you kind of have that reveal moment, which is super fun. I think that is just top notch because, again, that was a big part of the Scooby Doo series. Is like, oh my gosh, it's the one other character. Well, of course it is. It's the only other character we showed off, but it's still it's fun. I am going to go back to the original head just because I feel like that's more traditional Shaggy. But I would love to see the figure photography on this. Not a big figure photographer myself. I do like taking pictures, but more or less it's just kind of standard shots, and for that I need a regular head. But Shaggy running down the hallway, being chased by the mummy of Inca or the creeper, I think that makes all the sense in the world. But man, like I said, not overdone on accessories, but definitely the right amount. I like this figure a lot. I think it looks really, really good, and definitely one I'm glad I picked up. Because you never know when you start picking up figures like this, you're never sure, right? Like, is this something I'm going to want? I always thought, well, I can always sell it, down the road if I don't want to keep it. But you know what? I'll be honest, I'm happy with this. I think it looks awesome. I think Shaggy's a fun character, and I'm glad I picked it up. But what about you guys collecting the Scooby Doo line? Do you collect anything else from Jada Toys? Obviously, another big line they're big into is Street Fighter. Those are looking really, really fun right now. Got a few more of those I need to pick up, and several more I need to unbox. So those will be coming up at some point, of course. But again, take a look at the channel. Make sure to subscribe because the Creeper and the Mummy of Inca will be coming up in the next coming weeks. Hopefully sooner than that. We'll see because I got a lot of stuff I need to unbox. But let me know in the comments down below if you're into Scooby-Doo, if you like the Shaggy figure, if it's one you plan to pick up, all that good stuff. And of course, like I said, I assume these will probably hit all major retailers. I would imagine Target will definitely get them. I wouldn't be shocked if GameStop got them. Walmart, I don't know about. They do have some Jada Toys now, so I guess your mileage may vary there. But like I said, they were all still available last time I looked at Big Bad Toy Store for $29.99. So like I said, a little on the pricey side, but that's kind of the way it goes. I actually, interestingly enough, I did a... this is not going to make people happy. I'll just tell you that right now. But I did a... because I was listening to a podcast, they were talking about LJNs, and LJN wrestling figures, of course, are coming back from Mattel in 2025, late 2025, actually probably around the time this drops, and they're $25, and they were talking about, well, back in the day they were like $8. Well, I did the math on inflation, and it said inflation from I think I used I can't remember the year, and I don't even remember what I used it on, but it said, I think I said 1987, because I was like right in the middle of the LJN line. $8 in 1987 would be equivalent to $29 in 2025. So realistically, they're not any more expensive than they were then. Things have just, in general, got more expensive. Does that make it feel better? Definitely not. But it's something to keep in mind that your dollar went a lot further in 1987 than it does in 2025. Look at food, for instance. Food's way more expensive nowadays than it used to be. I remember you could go to McDonald's and get like a value meal for like $5 or $6. Now it's going to be $12, $13. So, things have just gone up, unfortunately. But this is not an economics YouTube channel. This is a toy YouTube channel. It's about fun. So if Shaggy's a little out of your price range, I certainly understand. But if not, I do think it's a fun pickup. looking forward to Series 2 and beyond. So definitely plan to check out the channel for more Scooby Doo unboxings as they come. But of course, check out my other unboxing videos. I'm doing 3 unboxing videos every single week. Of course, on Monday, just a couple days ago, I unboxed He-Man from the new Masterverse, new Eternia line. Actually, not new. It's been out for a couple of years now, but a really fun figure. And then, of course, last week, I had a lot of really fun unboxings. I started off with Mr. T and Rowdy Roddy Piper from the Mattel Elite line from their infamous boxing match from WrestleMania 2. That was a really fun unboxing. On Wednesday, I went back to the world of Operation Monster Force from Fresh Monkey Fiction, the Delta Red, no, the Sleepwalker Heavy Weapons Division. I can never remember those names. They are so hard to remember. And then, of course, on Friday, I went retro with a Toy Biz Marvel Legends Punisher figure. That was on Friday, so a lot of fun stuff. So make sure to check all those out. And then on Saturdays, make sure to check out What's on the Pegs, which is my version of a toy hunt. You can check those out every Saturday to see what I'm finding out there when I'm hitting the streets in all the different toy stores, as it were. And then, of course, I already talked about it, but check out the TB Toycast podcast. It drops a new episode every Thursday, wherever you get your podcasts. We have a different main event covering a specific old school toy line, usually an old school toy line, as well as all the news and happenings in the world of toys that particular week. So check that out as well. That's it. That's all I got. Thank you all very much for checking out the TB Toycast YouTube channel. That is Shaggy Rogers, as we learned from the Scooby Doo line. And we will see you in the toy aisle.
Yeah. One more time. It ain't over till I say it's over. So lock the cage up, cause this is a takeover. The wait's over. If this the final time we meet, then you'll be on your back on my feet. Then I'll tip the cage over as a hangover. I'm super fly so I can splash off the top. And I can shut down the shot.